I don't know about you, I'm editing like 8 hours a day now. I'm at my desk and I'm hunched over, and it's terrible for me. And so if you are in this boat, this next session will be very enlightening for you. We have the wonderful Lauren Sutherland coming to join us here to talk through stretching exercises specifically designed for wedding vendors and people maybe who are working at their desk and have shoulders as bad as mine. Lauren is a registered physiotherapist and the founder of Core Connection Mobile Physio, which is a rehabilitation company dedicated to providing accessible in-home and on-site physiotherapist services across southern Vancouver Island. They're super cool. We've worked with them a bunch. Really, really cool service, and we're super, super lucky to have Lauren here today. So I'm happy to introduce Lauren, who's going to lead us through a bit of a stretch here in our seats. So come on up, Lauren.
Thank you, everyone, for having me today. This is great. It was really interesting to listen to some of these conversations. And yeah, Brian already mentioned a little bit about sustainability in the body. Obviously, you want to be taking care of your body, and the more it can stay upright and be pain-free, the more sustainable your business and your work will be as well. So I'm going to focus on some seated exercises today. We'll start just with a little bit of breathing here. Diaphragmatic breathing is a really useful and important tool just for stress management, also for muscle tension, and often sustained postures where we're bent over, we tend to tighten up through our chest, through our abdomen, and our breath can start to get a little bit short and shallow. So I want everyone to get comfortable here, and we're going to start with 10 nice deep breaths. And first, I want you to pay attention to where your breath is going. So is it really short and shallow into your shoulders? Do you feel your chest rising? Or can you get your breath nice and deep and low into your belly? So the lower into your body that your breath can go, the more of a relaxation response you'll get throughout your entire body. And if it's comfortable for you, you can focus on breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. There's lots of debate on the right way to breathe, but we tend to find that in through the nose kind of softens the breath and deepens it. And the slower and the longer the breath, again, the more relaxed the muscles can be. And as you're breathing here, I want you to start the session just with a little bit of a body scan. So starting from your head, working down to your shoulders, your arms, your back, and notice, is anything feeling tight, uncomfortable? Pre and post body scans can be a really useful way to determine if something that you're doing is helpful for your body or maybe not so helpful. So we're going to do this again at the end of the session, and you're going to compare sort of to the pre-scan. Did anything change? Does anything feel looser, more relaxed, less uncomfortable? So scanning from the tip of your head down to your toes and just making note of anything that you feel as you're breathing here. So we'll move into the neck. A lot of the times our devices, our laptops, our computer screens, we start to hunch over, we're focused on what we're doing. We tend to develop a lot of what's called forward head posture, so that kind of chicken neck. So we're gonna start with some chin tucks here. So really attractive, I want you to try to give yourself a double chin. So keeping your eyes focused straight ahead, and you're gonna pull your chin back. So it's almost like you're bringing your head back onto your spine, and then let it poke forwards again, and then pulling it back. So it's just a straight forwards and back. And you're gonna do 10 here. So by pulling that chin back, you're actually lengthening out the muscles at the back of your neck into your skull. So for those that get any tension headaches, sometimes that can be as a result of those, what we call the suboccipital muscles at the base of our skull, getting really tight from that forward head posture. So just coming back and forth, getting that movement, getting out of that sustained, locked forward position. We like to say motion is lotion. So just keeping those little movements going can make a big difference. Okay, so when you're done those chin tucks, we're gonna work on side to side now. And this can be a bit of a tricky one. It seems like such a simple movement, but a lot of people wanna start to use their whole body to move their head side to side. So I want you to think, imagine someone's holding your shoulders nice and still, and you're just tilting your head side to side. So your nose is pointing forwards and your eyes are pointing forwards. And again, noticing does one side feel tighter than the other? You can hold it a little bit longer if you want on that one side. And when you're done 10 here, we're gonna put one arm behind your back, and you're gonna gently pull your shoulder blade back. So we tend to see, again, if we're focused, we're working long hours, those shoulders start to roll forwards. So think about rolling that shoulder blade back that's behind your back, and you're gonna look your head over and down to the opposite underarm. And you can either take two approaches. You can kind of move in and out of that stretch. So if you're feeling really, really tight here, sometimes gentle, repeated movements can be better than just holding a sustained stretch. It kind of helps to coax the muscles just to release. Or if you're feeling like just holding that for 30 seconds, if that's comfortable for you and your body, then go ahead and just hold that. And you might feel that down into your shoulder, and if you're really tight, maybe even down into your arm. And if it feels uncomfortable to put your hand behind your back, you can just rest it on your lap and do the same movement. And then when you're done with that side, you can switch sides, pulling that shoulder blade back, looking over and down to the opposite underarm. So we're just trying to target movements that really don't often get done in a lot of our day, right? We tend to work very forwards and backwards. Okay, and when you're done with that one, we're gonna move on to the shoulder blades. So as I mentioned, a lot of the postural issues, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain can be from those sustained postures, just lack of movement. So I want you to think of those shoulder blades sitting on your upper back. You're gonna slide them up, so shrugging up, pull them back, drop them down, and then roll them forwards. So the shoulder blades, the anatomical term for them is your scapula. And so you're rolling and gliding those scapula along your spine, along your ribs. Some people might feel some clicking and grinding. Nothing to be alarmed about. It's just a sign that maybe some of those muscles are a little bit off in terms of their balance and their length, but it's not going to cause any damage or any harm. And then when you're done, 5 of those, you can switch directions now. So going the opposite way, up, forwards, down, and back. And just moving within the range of motion that's comfortable for you. And as you're moving here, you don't want to lose sight of that diaphragmatic breath that we started with. Oftentimes, if we're feeling any tension, we tend to start to then hold our breath. Stretching, also a lot of people tend to think, okay, I gotta stretch really hard. I gotta push the body really far to make changes in the length of the muscle. But oftentimes, if you're really tense, then your body fights back at you. So using your breath as you're moving, as you're stretching, can help to soften everything. So next one here, we'll bring the arms up overhead. I'm just going to put my mic down for a second and show you. So clasp your fingers and then turn your palms up to the ceiling. Good. And if that feels okay, you can hold it here. And again, bring that breath back. It might feel tighter to breathe deep into the diaphragm, just because your arms are up over your head and those pecs are getting stretched. And if this feels comfortable, you can then side bend to the side, getting a stretch down the side of your body. So this is working your lats, stretching out under those armpits. And you can hold it, or again, you can rock side to side. And do as much or as little as you feel comfortable, modifying anything that feels uncomfortable or too intense. Nice work. If you prefer, you could put one arm down and do it just with one arm. Make sure, watch your neighbor. Don't hit him in the head. Or you can if you want. That works too. Good. Okay, we'll move into some rotation now. So again, we tend to, just like I was talking about with the neck, we work very kind of forwards and backwards. So we tend to lose a lot of twisting motions. And that mid-back, it's called your thoracic spine, can get quite tight. And a lot of people who have neck pain, it can actually be coming from your thoracic spine and that lack of mobility there. Oftentimes where you feel pain is not always the source of the issue. So we're gonna add a rotation here, so you can turn to one side and reach behind and gently grab the chair and add a little bit of overpressure. And think about lifting your chest to the ceiling. And again, holding here if that feels comfortable, or you can gently and slowly move side to side if motion feels more comfortable. And you can add the breath at the end of the movement, so breathing down into your belly. And you might even notice and find if you bring that breath into those movements and stretch, you might be able to go a little further as you exhale, let that air out. So this is getting some thoracic rotation. How's everyone doing? Good. And the next one is we're going to move into a seated cat-cow. So again, targeting that thoracic spine, but more rounding and extending. So I want you to collapse inwards on yourself. Make a C with your spine, bringing your chin to your chest. And then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to lift up, put your head back as far as it feels comfortable. Lift your chest up to the ceiling, squeeze your shoulder blades. And again, breathing at the end of each of those movements. So rounding and arching. The longer we're sitting for, we tend to experience this, we call it creep. So gravity tends to creep our body down and forwards. And our muscles start to get strained and lengthened. So again, just introducing little movements throughout your day while you're sitting can make a big difference. So cat-cow, awesome. Good. Okay, we're gonna move into the hips. So we're gonna do, you're already one step ahead there. You're gonna do the seated figure 4 here. So cross one leg over, ankle over your knee. Yeah. And if you want to deepen that stretch, you can lean forwards, or you can even round your spine, and you might even feel that a little bit into your low back. And again, 2 options: either hold that stretch if that feels okay for your body, or you can move in and out of it. So kind of rounding forwards, lifting up. And you can stay on that one side for a while, or if it's really tight and uncomfortable, you might want to find switching from side to side a little bit more often. Might give you a little bit more of a length change in those muscles. And noticing, is one side tighter than the other? Usually there is. Yeah. Good. And at the hips, at the pelvis level, we can get quite locked up. So we're gonna do what we call pelvic tilts. So you're gonna keep your upper body nice and still. And I want you to think of your pelvis like a bowl full of water. And you're gonna arch your low back and tilt the water out the front of the bowl. So letting your belly button kind of poke forwards. And then tuck your tailbone under you and think about tilting the water out the back of the bowl. So this can be really tricky to isolate your pelvis, but it's just coming from that lower part of your spine. So we did the cat-cow, which was different. That's your whole spine. This is just that lower part. So little movements forwards and back. And this can feel really nice if you get low back pain the longer you've been sitting for. So again, tilting that water forwards and backwards. Good. And we're going to move into the hamstrings. So you're going to straighten one leg out in front of you, pull your toes up to the ceiling, and then you're going to slowly reach down towards your one ankle. And again, this can feel quite intense, so you can move in and out of that stretch. Again, the goal isn't to necessarily force or crank on your body, but just moving in and out. Feeling stiff? Good. And then switching sides. And comparing one side to the other. Good. And then we'll move into the ankles. So we'll do some ankle pumps. So lifting your toes up and then lifting your heels up. So just rocking up and down. If you notice if your feet get swollen, if you've been sitting for a while or on an airplane, this is a really great way to keep your circulation going when you've been static or stationary. Our calf muscles are the biggest muscles that pump our circulation out of our feet. And so if we're not moving, then that's when blood tends to pool in our lower extremities. So just moving those ankles up and down, really easy, basic way to pump that blood flow. Good. And I missed one because I'm holding this microphone, but we're gonna do the wrists here. So we'll start with one. We'll pull the fingers up towards the ceiling, and you can, I'm gonna put this down, and you can pull those fingers back if that feels okay, or you can just move it up and down if that feels too intense. So lots of time on our keyboards or even holding our phones. Holding our phones really tightens up those forearm flexors, so trying to bend them backwards the opposite way. And then equal and opposite, lots of typing tends to tighten up the muscles on the top of the forearm, so you can go down the opposite way and pulling your fingers down towards the floor. Yeah, so you can either hold the stretch or you can just move it up and down, whatever feels most comfortable for you. More is not always better. We don't need to crank on it to have benefit. And then we can do some circles. Good. Yeah, feel some of those cracks coming out. And switching directions if you haven't already. Good. Yep, that works too. Get them up in the air. Okay, we'll finish off with those diaphragmatic breaths again. So just coming into your body, nice deep belly breaths, and just start to notice with that body scan, has anything changed from before you started? So those areas that you noted were tense or uncomfortable, do they feel a little lighter, a little looser? Does your breath feel a little deeper? Can it go a little longer now? And that can be a great feedback mechanism of, okay, what really worked out of that routine for my body? And then you can take that home with you. So it's not always one size fits all. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone.